被害者ぶった顔をするな。憂鬱の魔人ヘクトール。正論に耳が痛くて罰も悪い。本当にどうも己はお前が苦手だ。
決別した時そのままだ。
お前の口の利き方も相変わらずなってない。昔はあんなに可愛かったのに。
Hello everybody, MaxZard here, back at it again to give you another very exciting video. For today, I have none other than my ReZero episode 20 review to go over and discuss, being the beginning of the Sanctuary and the beginning of the end. And if you haven't already done so, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner and check out that episode review for episode 19. You just know how I happened to miss it, need to recap over, brush over some things before I go ahead and dive up into this episode 20 review. Man, I gotta say, this one, oh shoot, like I was thinking we were almost done with all the flashbacks and though, but I think we're just about getting to the very end of all of these flashbacks though, because man, with this one though, Roswell, I didn't think Roswell had a different side of himself where he sort of kind of act nicer, acted a lot more like Subaru back in the past like this. And also just seeing the interactions between Beatrice as well as one of those Ryuzus, I was like, gosh dang, that was just kind of like a little bitter. You can't really call it bittersweet, but this a bitter story as a whole, just like how one of them had to sacrifice himself in order to protect the mansion, and this was everything that Ekidana was doing for the greater good of everybody that was living up in here, because for the most part we've seen Ekidana as a witch, someone evil, someone doing bad things though, but she's not completely evil, so to say. She can do some good things every now and then, as we saw within this flashback episode. But I have a lot more things to say about this, so let's go ahead and get up into it though. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into this episode review for ReZero Season 2.
This is the fat I brought us here, watch my light shine. But if I could right my wrongs and save you from the bed, it's not enough. It's not enough for me to break the rule of this world. I was never gonna leave you, never wanna lose you, but make it in the end. No one can die for real. I won't trust someone else's life. I know who I am.
This episode culminated in a fantastic showdown between Roswell and Subaru, highlighting the parallels and differences between the two characters in a more visceral way than any of the previous confrontations. The character expressions work was impeccable, especially when it came down to depicting Roswell's heavy frown, and the lighting was particularly striking as well. It was a great finisher to an episode that, at least for now, concludes its mini arc of flashbacks. This backstory told in this episode faces a slight issue, very slight, not too big in the grand scheme of things, but it begins with Roswell's perspective on Ekidana before abruptly switching into a story about Ryuzu Meyer and her feelings about Beatrice in the Sanctuary. I can understand why this particular issue came up, because Subaru heard the story of the Sanctuary from the Ryuzus. At the same time, the reason he's confronting Roswell at this point isn't necessarily because he learned of the sad parting between Ryuzu and Beatrice, which took up a large chunk of this episode. No, it's because Subaru learned that Roswell was a kind of, gentle sort of person once upon a time, and Subaru was trying to appeal to Roswell's humanity in this episode because he knew that the man had once cared about people beyond, his obsession with Ekidana now. In Ryuzu's story, he saw a bit of himself in Roswell. It might be a bit controversial for me to say this, but I do really think that it would have been, the best to reframe these flashback episodes to focus on the most relevant parts to be able to take away for the moment. The series so far has been almost impeccable at delivering information in a way that's most, pertinent to the immediate context. So the last few episodes have stood out by bogging themselves down in details. I get how they're relevant to the larger narrative, Beatrice's character in particular has gotten fleshed out and more recontextualized thanks to Ryuzu's perspective on her, but I also think that this information could have been delivered at a time when Beatrice plays a more active role in the narrative. Like we normally see in terms of flashback episodes in general, not just within ReZero, but just any anime you watch in general or any show in general. Usually the flashback will bounce back to a time relating with the character in the present tense now, about something that happened to them in their past that might help them grow as a character, something that we the audience get to see. Then they have a coming of themselves, a moment where they tap down deep in within their memories, jump back into the present, and we get to see the actions play out from there. Normally that's how flashback episodes sort of kind of work, and I felt like with ReZero, with these past few episodes, it was all over the place. The Amelia parts were really focused and stuff. That made a whole bunch of sense, but when they threw the little bit of teases for Beatrice or the Ryuzu's parts up in there, like little things like that, I was like, maybe we should have saved that for a little bit later, and especially with Beatrice being out of the fray for the meantime, I mean, it probably would have done it a little bit, or had a little bit more of an emotional impact if we would have had it relating with Beatrice as we would have saw her within the modern day time right now, though. That's just my own personal opinion, but it's just something to kind of really think about, though. So notably, this episode does still show some narrative restraint by leaving gaps that will presumably be filled in later. For example, the villain who shows up to interfere at the sanctuary is a guy named Hector, who is apparently the devil of melancholy. So we don't get any context for him at all yet, other than that he seems to have the power to weigh down people, and that he has a grudge against Ekidena. He wears a similar outfit to the present Roswell and has similar verbal quirks, so there's definitely going to be a connection between the two. Perhaps it may also explain why Roswell has memories from 400 years ago despite being human. I like these, little mysteries because they get me to think and speculate about, what's going to basically happen next. But I really do hope that when the answers eventually come, they'll be presented in a compelling and cathartic manner. And that's basically all I have to say within this week's episode review for ReZero, though. So y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below what all that you think about this episode. And something I did not mention within my review, oh shoot, that one moment with Roswell and Ekidena had to do like a good deed for Roswell, because I guess Roswell had like a sort of kind of complex going on with like how he was controlling like his, the magic within him and stuff. And Ekidena just goes over there and just kisses and sucks the living stuff out of it, like the animation that went in that kiss, like come on y'all, like what the heck. ReZero, like I see y'all over there, but oh shoot, like I just busted out laughing. I was like, gosh, the level of detail they put in that one little thing, I was like, oh shoot. But anyway, outside of that, y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below what all you think about the episode and what you're really looking forward to within the next episode that's coming up. And oh shoot, there's just quite a bit of stuff that, man, we're going to get ready to settle down for, because we're getting close to the very end. We don't have too much, many more episodes to go for ReZero, though. So we're slowly kind of getting to the end. But with that, we're going to have to deal with the whole arc of how, Subaru is going to be able to free the people from the sanctuary, which we're almost on the verge of, as well as save the people from, Roswell's mansion itself, though. So that's basically going to do it in terms of my review. So if you really like this review, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that bell to stay up to date on all things ReZero that I feel like discussing this season, y'all. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.
やはり私の睨んだ通りだ、夏木スバル。何？君と私は似た者同士だ。思い人に理想を強要するという意味でね。お前は弱さを、俺は強さを信じる。似た者同士って一点だけはうなずいてやるよ。行くぞ。